This video is sponsored by you, links for the channel are in the description along with the Discord. Hello there, Arknights most hated YouTuber here, once again proving you don't need to be intelligent to run an Arknights channel, or to promote LD Player. LD Player is a PC emulator that very recently optimized Arknights specifically. There is now a version of LD Player dedicated to Arknights, meaning no ads of any kind, while also being perfectly optimized to be played on your computer. If you're looking to stop playing Arknights on mobile, which admittedly is fucking dreadful, check the link in the description to download LD Player's Arknights app right now. I cannot believe that an event where Kjerag and Rhine collab, two factions with so cool cool NPCs to make playable, had a triple alter and no NPC became playable. It's fucking embarrassing. Moxie, Nasty, Ratatos and Arknights were all found shot dead in the Bronx. At least from a gameplay perspective, this event is extremely cool. Once again, keep in mind these are early impressions. The operators I am speaking of are not even in the game yet, and we have yet to see their modules, which could change quite a bit. We also don't have the exact numbers, so take all of this as a very general guideline of how I personally think they will pan out. Silverash Alter is the first 6-star of the Strategist archetype, an archetype introduced with Matsukiri, whose gimmick is altering and interacting with the deployment waiting zone. That's the bar at the bottom of the screen with all your operators. And Silverash gets his hands all over it. They took his talent that interacted with the waiting zone from the original and kicked it up several thousand notches. Talent 1 introduces an Eye of the Blizzard in your waiting zone, and a lot of effects in his kit revolve around this little thing. Outside of skill 3, you can think of it as a divider, separating the waiting zone in two areas, left and right. It costs either 14 DP on skill 1 and 2, or 19 DP on skill 3. On Talent 1, operators on the left of the Eye of the Blizzard, aka operators less expensive than it, have their initial SP increased and their redeployment time reduced for their first redeployment. Talent 2 gives all Kjerag operators freeze immunity, increased defense and HP regeneration. This effect doubles after Silverash is on the field for a while. This is just a simple faction buff. Skills are the meat of it, and let me tell you, Silverash has a lot of juicy meat to go around. Skill 1 reduces the DP cost of the closest operator to the Eye of the Blizzard in the waiting zone by 11, prioritizing guards, snipers and casters on the right. In this clip, for example, it was Rey and then Zarya. Zarya got her cost reduced from 20 to 9. Skill 2 deals a certain percentage of physical damage to units in front of Silverash, inflicts cold and reveals invisibility. It also straight up applies Skill 1, reducing the DP cost of the closest operator to the Eye of the Blizzard in the waiting zone by 11. Then operators on the left of the Eye of the Blizzard, which they now should be thanks to the lower DP cost, also release a little Silverash Slash, which also inflicts cold and reveals invisibility when deployed. Skill 3 expands his range, reveals invisibility, and inflicts a certain percent of fragile. He gains DP immediately and recovers DP over the duration. The operator with the highest DP cost in the waiting zone, once again prioritizing guards, snipers and casters, will have their DP cost swapped with the lowest DP cost unit. In this clip, Silverash becomes Todo from Jujutsu Kaisen, Ryzen and performs a textbook boogie woogie, swapping Ulpianus and Lancet's DP costs, giving you a 3 DP Ulpianus. The Eye of the Blizzard also becomes deployable on top of other operators. Those operators will also mimic Silverash Skill 3 along with the first deployed operator, the one that got their DP swapped. In other words, Silverash is extremely good at the start of a stage, allowing you to shit out any one or more units immediately regardless of their DP cost, by way of lowering it and making some DP himself. This may sound familiar. In essence, this achieves the same thing as Flagpipe. On one hand, you produce enough DP to make an inflation fetishist bust, and on the other hand, with Silverash, you are reducing DP cost so that you don't have to produce as much DP. Functionally, it's the same thing, you get the unit out sooner. However, Silverash is far more efficient. He does it in one squad slot. Flagpipe requires bare minimum 2 squad slots for Bagpipe, Myrtle, and maybe Elysium. Without Flagpipe, you'd have to put down Ines or Vulpes Foglia to hold down lane for a little while. Silverash is more efficient, he can hold a lane for a little while, he reduces DP cost and makes some DP himself, all in one squad slot. But I don't feel it is an efficiency that is super worthwhile in casual play. There are few stages where you need fucking Wishadel or Madrock down as your very first unit and can't get by deploying Ines or someone else to lane hold for a little while. Besides, incredibly strong units like Exia Alter and Tragodia are also extremely cheap. Where Silverash Alter will shine is high-end content like CC, where you do need those units out immediately, or when there is fuck-ass risks that make every unit cost a mortgage payment to deploy. He completely circumvents those mechanics. I think he will be an amazing unit, great in casual play, probably the most efficient vanguard in the entire game, and especially strong in high-end content. And he really might drive out other vanguards out of the meta. He has a way of making the entire rest of your team stronger in a way that the other vanguards simply don't have. Motherfucker interacts with the UI, operators that are not even deployed yet. Motherfucker thinks he's priestess. Hi, SUPAH from the future here. It has come to my attention thanks to the Arknights creator server that Ines Skill 3 exists. Her first deployment on Skill 3 costs 0 DP because you're actually deploying the little summon. So, in theory, with Silverash Skill 3, you could boogie woogie and, if you build your squad right, get any one operator for free. So there's that. Given this is kinda niche, right? It's one unit you're getting out while producing DP normally expedites the process of getting several units out. I still think Silverash Alter Skill 2 is his best skill. Skill 3 seems more niche for the situation where you need one specific unit out immediately. It's also not exactly free, is it? You are still spending DP to deploy Silverash, and you are still using 2 squad slots like Flagpipe, which kinda defeats the point of Silverash being efficient and doing everything in one squad slot. So, assuming a DP cost of around 14, going off Matsukiri, the previous strategist, and assuming we shadow costs 23, you are only saving around 9 DP for the cost of only doing this once for this one unit, and making Ines completely useless for 2 squad slots. It's a fun combo, but it's really not all that good. Pramanix Alter also has an incredibly cool, unique mechanic. She's a phalanx caster, but unlike Carnelian, she does not make me doubt the existence of a benevolent god. On Talent 1, she creates snow tiles in her range. These snow tiles gain layers over time, and depending on the layers, enemies will receive DOT damage and slowed movement speed. The tile then disappears when an enemy exits it. For Talent 2, she inflicts cold to units who hit her, and upon being killed, she will not die. She will freeze herself and all enemies around her and restore her HP fully. This can only happen once, and I wonder if with Silverash Alter you can bypass her freezing herself thanks to Silverash's Talent 2. Skill 2 is an infinite skill, turning her into an AoE caster but 10 times better. Snow tiles, once gaining a certain amount of layers, will spread to nearby tiles. There's a limit to this, and enemies receive cold when exiting one of the tiles. However, and here's the fucking kicker, the blue box can gain snow layers as well, and upon receiving a certain amount of layers, it will freeze. From this point forward, the fucking blue box gains an HP bar and blocks 3. This is an insanely cool effect. Lowlight burnt the kitchen down when making this one. The fucking firefighters had to be called. It feels like a Minecraft mod. Is it very useful though? Kinda. It kind of falls into the same trap as revival effects. That is, in normal circumstances, you aren't planning for the enemies to get to the blue box in the first place. In the vast majority of cases, this will be either superfluous or serve as insurance. However, it does still have uses. For example, if 2 blue boxes are close together, you can momentarily lock down both with just 1 unit, while you build a better defense. Or, in some scenarios, you might not be able to place blockers at the blue box. Maybe there's some sort of environmental effect, or the tiles are banned or blocked, or certain melee classes are banned. The situations in which this could be relevant do exist, even if they aren't plentiful. Or maybe you're just playing Arknights, I don't fucking know, man. I imagine skill 2 will be a very solid, sustained arts DPS skill, on a good range with crowd control to boot, and insurance to make you sleep easier. With skill 3, she's kinda like you skill 2, in the sense that she expands her range and all enemies in her range will be attracted to her. First of all, who isn't? Second of all, this achieves the exact same effect as you skill 2, but instead of being a teleport, they slowly walk over there. Pramanix will also deal damage and increase snow generation. This is yet another enemy displacement tool, and the Unectis Reclamation Algorithm module was found dead in a ditch. However, out of all the enemy displacement tools we have, This feels on the weaker side. It's not an outright teleport like you, and it doesn't have the versatility of Tragodia's cat. But I imagine the situations for this to shine do exist. Those being when you need to attract enemies to arrange the tile. For whatever reason. I don't want to say this situation doesn't exist because this is Arknights, but it is undoubtedly niche. I feel like Pramanix will see the most use as an AFK AoE sustained Ars DPS with skill 2 in casual play, or occasionally as a burst Ars DPS with skill 3. Not a bad unit at all. Astgenne Alter. Look, I'm sorry, I don't want this to be a repeat of the Haruka situation, but I don't see anything here. There's no sauce. This bitch is dry. You can tell she's the welfare. She's a D-cell binder, same archetype as Sujuran. Talent 1 increases attack speed every time she inflicts a slow. Talent 2 inflicts a certain percentage to all enemies in range, and then those in range for longer will get even more fragile. Skill 1 is literally just the original Astgenne skill 1. Skill 2 targets a certain amount of enemies and introduces her main gimmick, linking enemies. With skill 2, linked enemies will receive some damage, be slowed for longer, and all be pulled towards the enemy they are linked to, therefore huddling them all in one spot. This is alright. It feels like a weird crowd control tool, except that a lot of enemies you'd really want to crowd control probably won't be able to be pulled so easily. Though, I guess in IS with a certain weight and SP relics it can work as a decent stall. But at that point, use Mizuki, and if you're here for the damage, use the original Astgenne. Skill 3 expands her range, locks onto some enemies, and deals continuous damage to them. Those enemies will be linked together, and each linked enemy will transfer a certain percent of arts damage received to other linked enemies. Now, don't quote me on that, because I'm kind of pulling it out my ass, but there is a chance this damage transfer works the same way as in Television Skill 3, how she transfers damage from the candles to enemies linked to the candles, that meaning it's guaranteed damage, aka true damage that bypasses restrictions that limit even true damage. However, low-key, this seems just mid. Yeah, sure, she applies slow. That's kinda cool in itself. It means it synergizes with Chubai and Vulpix Foya. But like, as I said, there's no sauce. Reminder that Silverash Alter also has some percent of fragile. Depending on the numbers, which we don't have yet, it might be more worthwhile to bring him over Astgenne. Her module is yet to be revealed, so who knows, maybe that will hydrate her kit that is currently drier than the fucking Sahara at noon. But why would you use her? Skill 1 is chain damage, and I suspect Astgenne will probably be better at that by virtue of not being a D-cell binder. Skill 2 is an okay stall tool and maybe even enemy displacement, but Pramanix Alter does that better, and Skill 3 just seems underwhelming. Well, that's all. Max out your Gummy. I'll prepare myself for the I was wrong about Astgenne Alter infinite content glitch video. Bye. Oh!
Monster
Hunter! Monster Hunter!
Monster Hunter?
Resident Evil?
Monster Hunter!
Oh, okay, this
Monster
looks more like
Hunter!
Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter!
It's back!
Monster Hunter!
Monster Hunter is
Monster
back!
Hunter!
We are so back.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
SUPAH is
Yes!
screaming right now.
Yes! Yes!
Yay!
Nice, let's go.
The stream is saved! The stream is saved! The stream is saved! Ah! 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 Hi, hello, I'm recording the audio on my phone microphone in the bathroom because I finished editing at 1 a.m. and I shared the room with other people, so I can't just record there. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm going to go subtitle the video after this. And keep in mind, I'm usually in bed at like 10 p.m. So if at any point it feels like I had a stroke while subtitling, that's why. Anyway, thank you to Tony, Mirak, Yorei, URL Killer, Edu, Larimar, Kino, Artjack, Kami, I Love Wishadel, Bomb Ninja, Raditz, Gulu Leon, Living Shad, Apollo T, QX10, Mr. Lair, Tatanimal Raptor, Seishin, Joseph D, Zevenix, Nubo, Lizard King, Nemotic, Nerd Rage, I really can't shout that one this time, Andre Mula, Sorin, Chris Hoa, Maxio says, Come on here, and Kevin McGuire, Larmendra, Shimadi, Unyunyuk, UNSC, the King of Harems, the guy with two names, Lightnero, Kromchan, JJF, and Bozidara. Now I go subtitle. Hopefully I should be done by like 2 a.m. Maybe 3 a.m. honestly, I don't fucking know.